Hey guys, Prowl 1701 here, and today we're doing another face-off. And today we were pitting some classic Who against some modern Who, and we're comparing early seasons from classic Who and modern Who. Today, the face-off poll that we're going to be talking about was, I want to know which of these early seasons you prefer or think is better. And basically, I put season 4 of classic Who up against Series 4 of Modern Who, and also left an option for people to decide if they thought it was a tie or they couldn't decide. Now, between Season 4 of Classic Who and Series 4 of Modern Who, I prefer Season 4 of Classic Who myself. Series 4 is good. I find it a little overrated. I don't think it's the best season of Modern Who like some people do. I much prefer Series 3, for example, over it. But I know there are a lot of fans that herald Series 4 as like the best of the Russell T Davies era or the best of Modern Who. Excuse me. And it's a good series. It is. It's got a lot of good episodes in it. Donna's one of my favorite companions. My favorite Modern Who companion. Her and Tennant are really good together, and I wish they had more episodes in that series together. I never like it when they're separated in episodes. It does have a few I don't care for as much, like Turn Left and Planet of the Ood is okay, and there's another one or two I can't think of right off the top of my head that don't do as much for me. But it is really good, and Journey's End's a little over the top, but it's still really good. So I like Series 4. But Season 4 to me is just so good. Now, I haven't seen all of Season 4, but what I have seen I like. I've never seen The Smugglers. I've seen The 10th Planet, which is good without being great. The first two episodes are really good, and then Hartnell not being there from Season 3 hurts it, and then the animation for Episode 4 hurts it. The animation's good, but the camera work's a little wonky. Plus, I never like when a final episode in a story is animated. Excuse me. And then I really love Power of the Daleks, though. It's one of my favorite Dalek stories of all time. It's just phenomenal. The animation for it's really good. David Whitaker writes the Daleks just about better than anybody. Probably my favorite classic Doctor Who story, Power of the Daleks. And the incidental music for it's really good. The Highlanders I haven't seen, but I've read the novelization and really enjoyed it. I've never seen Underwater Menace. I'm looking forward to that, actually. I love the Moon Base. It's one of my two favorite Cybermen stories. The animation for the Moon Base is probably the best animation we've ever gotten. It's definitely my favorite of the animations, and it fits the live action footage really well. It's not jarring going from animation to live action to animation to live action. Never really feels jarring for me. The animation is so well done. I'm not as keen on the Cyberman design in it or the Cyberman voices in it, but the story's really good. Troughton is absolutely amazing in it. Could be his best performance in the role, in my opinion. And he has some very memorable lines in it as well. Macroterra I really like. It's also one of my favorite animations, probably right behind the Moon Base. I love the liberties taken with the story. I like the story itself. The incidental music is a little off from the animation. It doesn't quite match what's going on in the animation exactly, but it's a little nitpick. I don't think I would have liked the Macroterra as much watching the original episodes if they existed. I don't think. Maybe. I don't know. But I do love the animation here. Faceless Ones is good without being really good. I like it. I like it more now than I did on first watch, but I've never disliked it. It's good. I think it's a little too long, but it is good, and it's nice to have a couple surviving episodes of it. And then Evil of the Daleks is just phenomenal. I love Evil of the Daleks. It's another fantastic. Both the Dalek Troughton stories are really good. Really, really good. David Whitaker knew his stuff about writing Daleks. So for me, it's Season 4 over Series 4. Now, here's what you guys had to say. With 131 votes, Season 4 of Classic Who did win with 47% of the vote. Series 4, though, not far behind it, with 40% of the vote, and 14% of the vote saying that they either thought it was a tie or that they couldn't decide. Now, normally, I think in a widespread poll, I could see Series 4 winning this poll, as Series 4, again, is very popular in Modern Who with Modern Who fans. But I do think most of the people who watch my channel are probably more Classic Who fans, than necessarily Modern Who fans, because I do talk about Classic Who a lot more on my channel. I prefer discussing Classic Who more. I prefer Classic Who more. Even though Classic Who and Modern Who both have their ups and downs, strong points and weak points. So I'm sure a lot of the people voting in this poll are more geared toward the Classic series since it's discussed more on this channel. But if, say, a bigger channel did a poll like this, or if Doctor Who themselves did a poll like this, I wouldn't be surprised if Series 4 won. But Season 4 did take it slightly, 47% to 40%. Let's see what you guys had to say here. Henry Andrews says, got to be Season 4 for me. It's Patrick Troughton. I've been rewatching a lot of Troughton lately, just finished The Invasion, watched Power of the Daleks recently too. And one thing that really struck me, it was Troughton's ability to be totally alien. I can't stop yawning, yeah. While still being able to relate to humans. The Invasion shows this very well, especially in the scene where Isabel is taking pictures of the doctors as the unit soldiers run straight over him. And he tidies up his hair and poses. It's little things like that that really show why Troughton is great. I do love that shot. Coming back to your question, Power of the Daleks is probably my favorite Dalek story. And for me personally, I like Troughton animations and can still envision his mannerisms at times. Simon Mincher, who says, this is a difficult one for me because I haven't seen most of Season 4, and I do love Series 4 from Modern Who. But lately, have been moving more towards the classic series stories. So I'm going to sit this one out until the collection set comes out or we get more animations released for lost episodes. Will probably be a while before we get the Season 4 collection box set, though, sadly. I suspect that will be easily the last Troughton set we get and one of the last sets we get, probably in the range. JLBWHO, who is one of my subscribers and one of my patrons, says, this is very difficult, but I give the edge slightly to Modern Who. If only we had more surviving stories from Season 4, then I'm sure it could have won as Troughton is a joy to watch. But we have had a lot of those animated. However, Series 4 is one of the strongest series of Modern Who, my second favorite just behind Series 10. So it wins by a close margin. And Ryan Carrick says, I like Season 4 more, but think Series 4 has to be recognized for such consistently great stories and Tennant and Tate's relationship, plus the finale built up for 4 years. Even as not a huge 10th Doctor fan, I think Series 4 is better, but I prefer Series 4. That's fair, and I think that's a good point, that there is a difference in what you could consider one to be better objectively while still having preference for another. I'm like that sometimes with a season I might like. Like I might objectively think one, say you were pitting two seasons against each other, I might think one is objectively better than the other, but prefer watching the other one. Much like if somebody asked me what's the best post-regeneration story, objectively, I think the best post-regeneration story is The 11th Hour. It's just so well made. But if you ask me what my favorite one to go back and rewatch is, it's going to be Robot. It's just good because I have such a strong fondness and love for Robot. I love that story. So I think that's a good distinction Ryan points out here, where he thinks Series 4 is objectively better, but he prefers watching Season 4. Good point. Phil Owens says it's always going to be the original. It's always going to be the original over the reboot series all day, every day. Continuity, that's the word I was looking for. It always takes me half a second with that one. It's always going to be the original continuity over the reboot series all day, every day. Well said. Bananas Are Goods. I love that name. Bananas Are Good says, both very good seasons. That is a real tough one. I can't decide there. I'm assuming he clicked the tie button. Click! TARDIS Spider, who is also a fellow Who-tuber, says, as good as 10 and Donna are, if complete, Season 4 is just too good. Shamrock Particles says, I remember more stories from Season 4 Classic Who. Most of Modern Who Series 4 stories I either don't remember or laughed at. Nothing for the latter stands out save for Donna and Wilf, but a character is half the battle, or a third. If needing the latest whiz-bang effects to grab viewers is important. Paul Bailey, another fellow Who-tuber, says, I'm going to say Season 4. I mean, come on, Patrick Troughton versus David Tennant, no-brainer. Paul is not a big David Tennant fan. Believe me, he's not a big David Tennant fan. Season 4 has So many stories I love, like the 10th Planet, Power of the Daleks, the Moon Base, the Macroterra, and Evil of the Daleks. Plus, I do like Classic Who more than Modern Who. Fair enough. Jamie McDonald says, I started off in 2005, but definitely prefer Classic Who Season 4. Or definitely prefer Classic Who. Season 4 is better than Series 4. And that's always a fun thing to see when you meet Doctor Who fans that started with Modern Who, but over time have gone back to watch Classic Who and have actually become more fond of Classic Who than Modern Who. That's always a fun thing to see. Colin Coney, who is not only one of my subscribers, but also one of my top tier patrons, which I appreciate, says, not even remotely close for me. I rewatched Series 4 a few weeks ago and enjoyed it a bit, but come on. Season 4 has 10th Planet, Power of the Daleks, the Moon Base, Macra, Evil, all pretty much essential viewing. So as enjoyable as Series 4 is, Season 4 is one of the most consistent and best seasons. Classic or modern, and contains the first regeneration, first Cybermen, 2 of the best Dalek stories, Jamie, some of Troughton's best lines. It's in my top 5, whereas Series 4 would be below top 20. And as you well know, we haven't, in my current ranking videos I'm doing on Saturdays, at the time I'm recording this, we still haven't reached Season 4 on my list yet. And Series 4 we covered a few weeks ago. It was lower on the list than I think some people expected it to be. Joshua says, there's no competition. I treat them all as one show. Series 4 of New Who I refer to as Season 30. That gets very confusing. I don't like when people do that. So what do you think of Season 30 of Classic Doctor Who? I'm always sitting there having to mentally adjust. Freaking one is that? I hate when people do that. Well, I'm very fond of Season 31. And it's cool if you think like that. Like, if you think of Series 5 as Season 31, that's cool. But, like, if you're in conversation with someone, you're going to confuse them. Because I have to mentally try to do the math on that, and it annoys me. So they're like, I like Season 31. I'm like, which one is that song? It's Series 5. Just say Series 5. That's what it's called. That's what's on the marketing. Say Series 5. And then he adds, with the amount of missing episodes, it's hard to judge Season 4, but say for the moment, I'd say Series 4 of New Who. Bobby Fackrell says, Classic 4 over Modern 4 all day long. The Evil of the Daleks is the best Doctor Who ever versus the anticlimactical Journey's End wins the battle alone. Then you have bangers like Smugglers, Power, Highlanders, and Moonbase. Even Macroterra smashes most of Modern Who. Modern 3 versus Classic 3 and Modern 1 versus Classic 1 will be interesting battles, though. And actually, the latest poll that is up right now is Classic 3 versus Modern 3. So it'll be interesting what Bobby has to say about that one. LA Quadling says, hands down, the original Season 4 from 1966 to 67. While the new series has created only a couple memorable episodes and new villains, the original Season 4 introduced Regeneration, the Cybermen, the Macra, Base Under Siege serials, 2 historical companions with Jamie and Victoria, and killing off the Daleks. The new series has never been that adventurous or creative. They are way too reliant on monsters from the original series, then creating new ones, and they have yet to introduce a companion from another time period, which is also driving me insane. I literally have zero interest in the new companion. Same! Another modern day girl. Come on, Russell T. Davis, you're more creative than that. Is he, though? Sir Meows a Lot 89 says Troughton beats all. Problem Being says Classic Who over New Who. Said Classic Who is what Doctor Who is to me. New Who, though very entertaining and fun, is a different animal to me. Far. And Nakayako, who I'm always happy to see swing by. He always has some great conversation to add in the comments. Nakaiku says, Troughton or Tennant? Well, that's easy. Troughton, of course. Additionally, Series 4 is one of the worst in New Who, with the most annoying companion, not counting Chibnall Who, of course. Now, I don't agree with him there, of course. I love Donna. And I like Series 4. I just think it's overrated. Possibly the most overrated of modern Doctor Who. It was still decently high on my rankings list for the seasons, but it is a lot further than I think a lot of people would have it. So there we have it. The comments also mostly going for Season 4. As again, the audience that watches my channel, I think, is definitely more Classic Who fans. So that's not surprising to me. But in the polls, Season 4 only winning 47%, whereas the Modern Series 4 did have 40%. So it is a very close race. So if you did not get a chance to vote in this poll, comment down below and tell me which you prefer between Classic Season 4 and Modern Series 4. I always enjoy hearing from everyone. Other things to do, don't forget to click the like button and the subscribe button and the bell for notifications so you never miss out on another video. I am trying to grow the channel to 1,000 subscribers in 2023, and we're well on our way. We're almost at 900, almost there. So I would appreciate that if you enjoy my content. I also have a Patreon. If you would like to support me on that, get access to exclusive videos, early access. I do a lot of early access, sometimes a month or two ahead, early access. If you would want access to that. I also do polls that only my patrons get to vote in, and etc., etc. So check that out. That certainly helps. I want to give a shout out to some of my top tier patrons, Stephen Crane, Colin Coney, Finn Perkins, and Unknown289. I appreciate their support, as I do the support of all of my patrons. I also have a P.O. box if there's anything you would like to send me to look at and review. And a link to my Amazon wish list is down there as well. Most importantly, thank you for watching.